What's up? Colton, Lindsay here, live inside of the WGR layer. Coming with a podcast today discussing why is it successful people are broke. And we talk about how to generate even more results through life management and meditation. I know what you're probably thinking right now. This subject might be a little boring, but yet it is the most important topic I think all y'all need to be paying attention to. And I'm going to have a good friend of mine on today, Mr. Torre, worldwide. As soon as we can get Torre on. Adam, thanks for being here. So I would like to know, hey, Spring Benson talked to me. Woo, what up? So as soon as Al pops up, we're going to get him live. But I want you to, just a couple questions. One, put an L in the comments if you're live, put an R if you're a replayer. And then I also just have this question. Do you meditate? Put a yes or a no in the comments down below. I'd love to know who's on board with this mindfulness activity. Recently, this year I should say, there have been people that have been extremely successful, celebrities, financial-wise, otherwise, they've committed suicide. In fact, we've had a lot of people that have committed suicide in the season. I always wonder, well, why is it that they feel the need to actually end their life? And this is actually kind of a growing thing inside of society today. But the other side of that is, what if you could get even more done with your life and enjoy it? Torre, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Al? I can't hear you. I think your fucking phone's broke. I think you need to meditate and get your shit working. David, what's up, man? Both Davids are saying what's up. Brett, appreciate y'all being here. Al,
there you go.
Al, can you hear me? There you are. I can hear you now.
Hey, man.
Okay, cool. So let's talk. What we brought up this conversation was earlier today. You and I were talking, and one of the things we want to discuss in this conversation is life management. The idea of, instead of creating time management, how about we manage our life? How do we manage our life? What are some actual items that we can do to get mindful for that and to manage our life? So talk to us a little bit about your experience with RPMs, and let me even break it down and make you help you learn even more, Al, because that was part of what we wanted to do, is how can you improve with your RPMs? So start off with that.
Yeah, so for me, I started doing RPMs about a year ago. And at first, I used to just have a to-do list, and which is basically just a list and a bunch of stuff I had to get done by the end of the week. And it was actually quite challenging because I never felt like I was finishing my list, you know? So then last year we were doing our mastermind event, which was great. If you guys haven't subscribed to the Utah Mastermind, you need to. Our live mastermind event last year in Miami Beach, we talked about RPMs. So you started to sort of introduce me to that idea of RPMs. And so I start writing out the results and the outcome that I'm trying to achieve. And then from the outcome, I create a plan of how to achieve that. And then I literally go into action. Now, what happens to me when I go into full action, full throttle, is that I am like obsessed with getting my result. So I would easily burn out if I don't meditate along with that. So what I started doing was a lot of breath work, because with RPMs, believe it or not, initially, it was a lot more stressful than having my to-do list, because the RPM would put me more on like full throttle, like jet fuel mode, and which would cap me out every day. I would be nonstop. So I started meditating, and about a year ago, when you came down to the Tony Robbins event to the Date with Destiny, I believe. Yeah, it was really cool because I hadn't done breath work in a little while, you know, and then you sat down and you're like, dude, you got to do this breath work with me, and it was a Wim Hof, and then from that I scheduled a transformational breath session with a local person that it's an expert here in my market in South Florida, and after that it changed. My RPMs have been like on fleek, you know, and then on top of that, my meditation it comes and goes. Sometimes I suck at it. Like this week, I haven't been doing it every day, except for like a 7-minute break that I take every time that I'm either going on an appointment or something. So, but the RPMs has really been effective for me, and it could also burn you out if you're not combining it with meditation for me.
Yeah, I was talking on my coaching call this morning. it's proven that our phone is causing us more stress because of the beep, the buzz, the notifications. And for those of you guys that are realtors out there, does your phone distract you a little bit? Put a yes or a no in the comments and be honest with yourself for just a second. How much time and energy and effort are going to your cell phone that's taking away from you? Shauna, who's one of our mastermind partners, she just put change your life. And so RPMs are this. It's creating the flag on the hill every single day of here's the fucking direction I'm going. And whatever's between me and there, I'm going to get there. Oh, by the way, there's a few different actions that I can take to get there. I might not need to do all these activities, but I am going to get to that flag. I am going to get to my destination. It is going to happen. As we go along that road, there are rivers, there are valleys, there's fallen timber, there's shit in our way that causes us some stress. Put a one in the comments if you follow what I'm talking about. That's Al, you had any stress in your business the last few weeks?
Oh my goodness, this market shifting has really changed a lot of our strategies, and we've had to just literally change our strategies on properties, on businesses and things that we're selling, and it's been very stressful. I've been nonstop since I got back from Alaska. So that trip was probably the best trip for positioning me for this. So absolutely, it's been a lot of stress, and RPMs has been effective for me, and as well as transformational breath.
We all have things that come up in our life. I've had the most stressful triggers a person could have in their life this year, but it is stressful, okay? And so how can you get so clear on the direction you're going and move through it with presence, with patience, with happiness, with joy, with just excitement and more calmness and more peace? Kyle wrote down, my grandma always asked me what I do without my phone, and I always say, be happier. So flippin' true. I believe one of the things that we have to get great at, not just as real estate people, not just as business people, but as human beings, is get the fuck away from your phone. Separate time. That's why meditation is so awesome. It literally allows you to forget the bullshit. But there's more bullshit than just the phone. The thoughts going off in our head begins to be the bullshit. One of the number one values that we have is PMA, positive mental attitude. Part of that is stay calm, cool, and collect no matter what bullshit's going on in our life. Put a BS in the comment. You got some bullshit going on in your life. You got some drama happening. Two options with that drama is get sucked into it like a fucking negative vortex, or just pretend like, hey, that's not there. I'm going to actually, if I don't give it energy, it's not going to grow. I'm not going to take that energy away. So two ways to do that. Number one is RPMs. Life management planning. Every single morning, take 15 to 20 minutes. Stake your flag in the ground on where you're going for the day. What emotion do you want to experience throughout the day? And then what are the actionable items that are going to cause that? So realtors want more peace and tranquility. True or true, Al?
I think everybody, not just realtors. But we probably can use more. Right.
Do you remember we did the Wim Hof with David in our mastermind? And he's like, dude, I don't remember the last time I felt that much peace in my life. You remember that?
Yeah. And then he converted. He's a full-on Wim Hofer.
He's a Wim Hofer. He's a breather. He's a meditator.
Yeah. It's amazing. It really is. And it's hard to remember. We talked about this doing our live mastermind. By the way, if you haven't registered for the Utah mastermind, you want to be there. But for me, the New Orleans mastermind, we did the breath work. We had Jack out there doing our breath work, and everyone there had they were blown away.
I'm going to put that
after that.
Put that link in the comments if you guys do want to look into joining our mastermind and apply.
Yeah. And by the way, I've got the playlist ready for us for our session, and we're going to do a similar session, and we've been practicing for so long now. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it as a group.
The breath work. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about the RPMs a little bit. What are the outcomes? If you look at my outcomes for the day, I got 4 major outcomes. Be a connected, appreciative father. Drive sales for focus and excitement in the business. Create absolute fucking certainty in me and others. Be an influencer that engages to action. So those are the 4 major outcomes that I want to create throughout this day. So if we take a look at, what the fuck is that noise? Do you hear that beeping noise? What is that?
Yeah.
It's like a fire at your door.
All right.
See, we get distracted very easily, right? So if we take a look at drive sales, focus, and excitement in the business, number one was complete follow-up calls. Number two is make some calls to my people farm. Number three was do a call with Jennifer, which I did. Number four was do a badass stand-up meeting with my team. Number five was do an interview with Angel. She's a new recruit that we're looking at bringing in the organization. Did that. Number six is do a listing appointment with Amelia. I'll be doing that at 5:15. And then number seven, or whatever next is on here, is review my broker test. So I still got to get that done today. If we look at create absolute certainty in me and others, number one was core exercise versus sprints. I did that. Number two was drink my smoothie, which I'm working on right now. It's my last one for the day. Number three is drink some psyllium. You know what some psyllium is? Some fantastic fiber. I'll get that done. Number four was a sauna plus.
Slow down. Hold on. Slow down. So these are the, okay, so you mentioned the first thing you talked about was the outcome, right? Or is this still part of the outcome?
These are part of the actions that I can do to drive the outcome.
Right. So this is part of the P.
Right. This is part of the massive action. P is going to be, for example,
Gotcha.
if create absolute certainty in me, myself, and others, if we look at an RPM, it's going to be a purpose. What is my purpose behind that? Well, the purpose is the more certainty I have, the higher level I'm going to perform. The more certainty I have, the better health I'm going to be. The more certainty I have, the better energy my team's going to have. The more certainty I have, the more my message can convict and convey to others and influence and persuade and to help. Does that make sense? So the next one was
for sure. So you're kind of covering. Okay.
And then the last one was write down my targets for the day. So what's cool is I don't need to do all of those in order to create absolute certainty in myself. But if I do some of those, I'll generate the certainty from the inside.
Okay, so that's what you need to do in order to create the outcome that you want to create.
Right. One of my major.
And do you always succeed at the outcome daily, or I mean, because for me, I mean, I'm very focused in the morning. Like I've got my plan from till 12 o'clock. I am focused, and nothing derails me from there unless it's like a real emergency. And I'm talking like a family emergency. And after that, I used to struggle with my afternoon schedules because I didn't have certain appointments at certain times. So I started recreating another, like looking at my RPMs around 12:30 during lunch, and then kind of reassessment and making a reassessment, like what can I really still do? Who can I call right now? Who's on my list? What assets do I have right now that can allow me to execute this? And then my afternoon started to get better. I mean, I've got an appointment at 7 p.m. here that I'm jumping up from here to go inside, and it's a listing appointment. So I've been busy in between with the result and purpose driven plan of actions. So that's why the RPMs is critical. There's a really good video from Tony Robbins, and he talks about RPMs. So maybe that's something we can post on the comments later on.
Sure.
It's a really good, I think it's about 7 to 10 minutes. But yeah, that's what it's up for me.
But we'll try and remember it later. For those of you guys that are watching live or replay, how many of you guys get a little overwhelmed? How many of you feel this emotion, frustration, irritation, impatience, or overwhelmment in your business? How many feel like you're busy but not always productive? How many of you feel even that you might be successful doing 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 deals a year, but you're always fucking stressed? Like you can't stop thinking at night. You lay in bed at night like thinking about like, oh shit, did I send that email, or did I did that text send off, or did blah 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 follow up, right? Part of what.
Hey, but another thing too, you bring up a really good point about staying up and all that stuff. I'm exhausted by the time I go to bed, man. I am done. I mean, this RPMs and the breath work, I mean, has given me a lot of direction in my plan and the things that I got to accomplish. By the time 10 o'clock comes around, man, my wife thinks I'm like 90 years old. I'm going to bed. You know, I'm heading to bed at 9:30, 10 o'clock. But I'm waking up at 4. I'm waking up at 4 in the morning with a lot of stuff on my mind, and I've got to quiet that down right away. Get into a 7 to 10 minute state of.
When you wake up, how quick is your mind to start thinking about the problems it's got to solve?
I'm jacked up.
Yeah.
At 4, I'm ready. I jump up like I can just go solve them all right there. You know.
And really though, is that the energy you want to run with right away, or is it something?
No. Right. And I got it really. So I have a spot in my house where I literally sit down and my phone is on airplane mode, obviously, and because you'd be surprised how many alerts, notifications come in even at 4:15 in the morning.
Yeah. How often I send a freaking text message at 12 midnight because I
Oh,
look at it and I send it off, not thinking that they're going to respond right away, but it's like, oh, I got to respond to this. Like to me,
yeah. I get your text messages. I get them about 4:30 in the morning, and they come in double because it's on
because we
airplane
wake
mode,
up
so
at the
they
same, we wake
double
up at
up.
the same time too, even though you're East Coast and I'm West Coast. Like we still wake up at the same time. Like you're up at 4:30, I'm
Right,
up at
right.
2:30. It just makes sense.
Right, yeah, right. So on the way to the office at 7, when I call you, you're up, and we're a 2 hour difference, so I know
Yeah.
you're up. Yeah, so the RPMs is really I don't want to say giving me purpose, but it's giving me better organization, right? It's given me a more organized and executable list of things that I got to
Yeah.
accomplish, right? So if I got 2 properties or a business we're selling that I need to do a couple things for in order to position it right, it's on my mind all day, and I can't sit down and work on it until I meet with the seller for this appointment. So I got to do this first, but then I sit down and look at my outcomes again, and then I come out tonight and sit down and actually start executing some of the 2 items that I haven't done today.
So I want to read this. One of the things that I take in the morning to do is to read my values. I listen to it throughout the day as well. But one of them, I really focus a lot on away values. So one that I often feel is overwhelming. Like that's one of my home-based energies I can go to sometimes, where I'm kind of always active and growing and focusing on the business and things like that. So I say consistent, inappropriate overwhelmment only if I were to consistently believe in the ridiculous illusion that I have more to do or I must do or accomplish, instead of confidence in myself that I did my best and I do my best now living my values. So how often you guys get to the end of the day and you feel like you got more shit to do, and then you're down on yourself because you didn't get all your shit done. Like you literally have to shift the psyche 2 ways. One is to neutralize the conversation in your head, but 2 is then readjust the conversation so that it creates an emotion inside of you that's a positive feeling, right? Like if the conversation is I got more shit to get done, you're gonna feel tense, you're gonna feel angry, you're gonna feel upset, you're gonna feel frustrated, you're gonna feel impatient, you're gonna feel on edge. Or you can shift or neutralize the conversation so that, you know what, like, dude, I did my best today to get everything done that I said I was going to get done, and I did, and I reached my outcomes. I might not have got every little item done, but I did my best with my values that drive me towards my outcomes. You're going to have less tension in your shoulders, in your neck, in your back, and I mean that's where I get it. Is right here. This is the space right here where I get for me. And so if you think about if peace and tranquility is what I want to experience more of me, and I'm speaking for you guys, how many of you guys want more peace, more calmness, more tranquility in your physical experience of life here on earth? Put a yes or a P or a patience or a presence or a calmness. Put one of those words, tranquility, in the comments if you would like more peace and tranquility in your life. So if that's what experience we want to experience more of in our life, I don't know if you notice this, Al. As your day gets going, do you tend to like get moving quicker? Like it tends to get wound up a little bit and less calm or more calm throughout the day?
No. I mean, for me, my list can get very long within the first 10 hours, 8 to 10 hours, and I'm talking like of the day.
So by noon,
it definitely doesn't get calmer.
So I get it. So if we want to experience that, we've got to, and I don't know that I love to use the word force, but sometimes we've got to force ourselves to take the time to do the actionable item that allows for peace and tranquility first thing in the morning. That's meditation. That's Tai Chi. That's breath work. That's going on a walk without your cell phone. It's sitting on your porch and just drinking a cup of coffee while you look at what's going on outside. It's getting that. And then I actually believe do that for another 20 minutes in the afternoon. I meditate twice a day, first thing in the morning, and then in the afternoon after my gym session about 2:30, 2 to 2:30, somewhere around there. You're gonna find me in the sun.
And let me ask you this: do you start imagining your workout going like really amazing when you're doing that afternoon meditation? Because I do that a lot of times. Where if I've got an afternoon packed with stuff, I literally will imagine the whole thing going the way I want it to go and the way I think would be most beneficial.
Transcendental, like 15-minute phrase, I'll do a Wouldn't It Be Wonderful game. Well, wouldn't it be wonderful I went and got this listing contract signed? Wouldn't it be wonderful if we brought in some new customers into the WGR Academy today? Wouldn't it be wonderful if Fearless Agent had a bunch of sales today? Wouldn't it be wonderful if we had 50 people show up to the prospecting summit? Wouldn't it be wonderful I restored my 1931 Model A Ford and I was driving over Travelers Loop with my dad in the fall? Like, I play the Wouldn't It Be Wonderful game with myself.
Okay, which is the same.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just a question that allows me
Yeah.
to take a look at.
And actually, just so you know, I mean, just because you're writing down the outcomes, sometimes an outcome could be like, I want to get these two things executed. I may not get the outcome done that day, honestly, but I do. I still have the purpose there, so it may happen tomorrow. It may happen tomorrow, but I do know that I'm doing everything on the list, so to speak, to get it
Yeah.
accomplished. And I may not get the outcome I need to today as well. I mean, it might be next
Yeah.
week.
Right.
You
That's
know,
where you got the flag on the hill. Here's what's important about the direction of the flag on the hill. Is it very untypical that we arrive at the flag on the hill in the time frame that we thought we were going to. It usually takes a little
right,
bit longer, a little bit more effort, a little bit more
right,
energy, a little bit more time, a little bit more problem solving. And that's where patience comes in. I was talking to, she was on that call earlier. I don't know if she heard the stream earlier. I don't know if she is now. Spring Benson, good friend of mine. She asked me how my day was going. I said, today's a great day. It's really a great day. And she, like, isn't it always a great day? I said, it really is. Yesterday was a great day too. I said, but
yeah,
today's an
sure,
even better day. And she's like, why is that? I said, because today is right now and yesterday is in the past. Like right now is where it's happening.
hmm,
And too often, because of all the stuff we have to do, we get lost in the future or stuck in the past, and it drains us emotionally. And when we're drained emotionally, it comes off onto the people in our life, our clients, our team members, our family
totally, yeah,
members, just someone at the checkout of the
yeah.
bank or whatever.
Yep. Yep. I went to pick up my car today. It was in the shop, and as I'm going there, the lady's being fast and she's being sort of short with me, and I could tell she's not having a good day. But I'm doing my thing. I move to the side. I'm literally she throws my credit card. And I'm like, look, I understand it. Right before I'm leaving, she goes to her friend next to her. Hey, I have such a bad headache right now. So she's not taking it out on me, but I get it. She's not having a good day. So do you think she started her day quieting down the mind and I mean, look, it's probably not something she did, but I was about to take it personal, and I was like, I understand. She's probably not having a good
Yeah,
day,
I was talking with
right?
James
It's
on
a
my call
choice
today with
sometimes.
him, and I said, you know what, how I handle stress today, like I have way more shit that would trigger me for stress today in my life than I did in 2013, 2014. But when I put my head on my pillow at night, I feel way lighter today than I did in 2013 and 14. Not only physically, because I was fat then, I was really fat, but also just emotionally
Hmm.
and spiritually and just task wise. I get way more done today in less time without worry about what's going on in my mind than I did in 2014 and 2013.
Yeah,
And it's not by accident. It was by conscious choice through breath work, through meditation, and by choosing to create calmness in my life. Here's where the value is of meditation and breath work, in my opinion, is that's where we get an opportunity to practice awareness and be the observer of the thoughts triggering into our mind. That when it is a thought we're like, well, I don't really want to think that. I'm going to let that thought go. I get back to a neutral
hmm,
space, which is the gap or the space between the thought. And then after we've had that calmness a little bit, then we can start to go into a space of creative thought. Wouldn't it be nice if I did $700,000 this year? Wouldn't it be nice if we did $1.25 million next year? Wouldn't it be nice if we had a sell a day with our online business? Wouldn't it be nice if I spent even more time with my daughters? Wouldn't it be nice if whatever it is that you want to create? But we have to go to that space of
yeah,
neutrality, that space of the gap, the space between where there's no thoughts, that space where we're just not
right,
exhausting ourselves with the distraction of information. And what happens then is throughout the day, when shit comes our way, when shit comes to distract us, we're going to get distracted. The question is how long are we going to allow ourselves to be distracted before we
right,
come back to what our focus point is and the direction we're driving our life? And when we can do
yeah,
that, we can focus on the emotions that we want to drive. It's the emotions that we're experiencing. Too often people are making a lot of
yeah,
money and unhappy. Too often a lot of
yeah.
why, and then what happens? Let's talk about the alternative. When people are making money and being unhappy, what are they doing? What are the actions they're taking in their life?
I mean, usually they're shoving it away with some sort of drug or something to hide it. I mean, it's tough. It's tough. A lot of things are not easy, and life could throw some wrench at you. A lot of people do that. Look, we can turn on the news every day.
Yeah.
Now there's all this awareness of mental health, and it's always been an issue, but now it's the awareness, I guess. I don't know if I'm seeing it more, or maybe it's happening more, but I sure hear
It's
about it
happening for
more.
more people, for sure, because people
Right.
aren't taught how to deal with it. I have a friend, she's a school teacher here in the fourth grade. She actually does yoga with her students and mindfulness activities, which is really fucking strange that we can have meditation. I think it's powerful. We have meditation in our schools, but we can't have prayer. What the fuck is wrong with our system? Like, what is going on? Here's an observation now. We got a handful of live viewers today. We got significantly few live viewers on this conversation than we do most of my calls. Most of my streams have way more people on them. And what I would believe, this is probably one of the most important conversations that we've got to be having as entrepreneurs, as business people, as fathers, as mothers, as husbands, as wives, as leaders, because one day y'all are gonna fucking die. Between now and then, what was your experience? And how did you impact other people's lives? Because if between now and then and your death, you experience life as a stressful challenge, as a problem, as a shitstorm all the time, that sucks. But what if you could experience in a calm, just cool, just collect, no matter what the storm is, be the eye of the storm. Be calm, cool, and collect. Go with the flow. Have preferences but no needs. What if you could live like that? What if you didn't have to have all the stress and the anxiety and the pressure that came with it? It really is possible when we choose to live that way, but it has to be a choice.
I'm gonna jump off here because
Yeah, your internet's gonna be gone now, Al, because you're. Torre, he's rolling out. But you guys get the concept of today's conversation. I appreciate you guys being here. I think that you can have even more success, even more happiness, and even more fulfillment. Tony Robbins talks about this. Our greatest failure is success without fulfillment. And I see too many people making a lot of money today, but they're really actually poor. They're poor right here in their soul. They're not happy. They're not full of joy. They don't have great people to share it with. They don't have the love and the joy and the smile on their face. And that's really what I want to make a difference for most people, is to just shine that light and say, hey, you can not only make a lot of money because you deserve it. It's your right. You're born with that right to be rich. But also, what about the real richness? What about the real wealth that stems from the inside, the pure joy and happiness and excitement and gratitude of being here today? Because today is the moment that we exist, and we have an opportunity to tell the people we love that we love them. We have the opportunity to serve our community. We have the opportunity to serve our customers, our clients. We have the opportunity to bring more good and more value to the world. And I always believe that the world needs that. And we might need it more than today than ever before. I don't know, because the media is so jacked up. I truly believe inherently people are good, people are great, people are awesome. And I think we live in one of the best, most abundant times ever. But we got to be grateful for it, and we got to really take advantage of it. So I really appreciate that. Alan asked, have you ever read a book, Into the Wild? We talked about being happy and content in the present. It makes me think of that story. Yeah, and what's interesting about that too, at the very end, in the movie, he says, happiness is only real when it's shared with other people. So one of the cool things is we got to learn to be happy from the inside, but we got to learn to share that happiness with other people. I had a really good friend and mentor of mine, Master Huey. Man, how I met Master Huey is a whole other story in itself, but Master Huey always talks about, he runs a drug rehab center, but he always talks about healing happens in the community. And it blows my mind that so many people use drugs and alcohol and sex and pornography and shopping and even social media and the addiction to the phone today and to the addiction to everything. But if you go stand in line today at a grocery store or at a bank or wherever people's waiting around, go to the DMV, that's a good example. Everyone has their phone out, and it doesn't allow the mind to just sit and to just be present. It always forces the mind to be in an operative mode, and it's going to drain your energy even more. So you got to be consciously aware of that, because we can use our phones, we can use technology as something to grow with, but you got to be consciously stepping away from it. And that's why I believe meditation is so powerful, because it allows us time to step away from the phone, from the thoughts, from the stuff, from the crap that drains us and takes us down the negative Nancy road, and allows us to consciously choose a positive road, a positive experience here in life. So thanks for being here, guys. Make sure to check out the Prospecting Summit coming up November 12th, 13th in Utah. Reach out to me if you have more questions. I dropped a couple links about it. Also an application for my personal mastermind. We're going to be doing 3 days here. One of the things we're going to be doing is a breathwork activity with my mastermind partners. And it's every time I've done this with someone, it's blown their mind of how it literally changes the chemicals in their body and allows more peace, more joy, more happiness for them, and gets them even more present in what's really important, which is this moment, right? This is what we got. I was thinking about this the other day, how grateful I am that my parents are still alive, and that I've recognized that I have opportunity to spend time with them, because I've heard so many people that wish they had spent more time with their parents in their living years. And for my 20s, for whatever reason, I thought that I was beyond my parents, I was beyond my family, I'd figured shit out that they hadn't. And little did I know that everything that I am stemmed from those great people that had kind of raised me and walked before me, from my parents to my community to everything that I've been able to do. It stems from those individuals. How lucky am I that I still get to spend time with those people that have been my number one fans from day one. So what I would recommend for you guys is get really present, find out who's important to you, and let them know that they're important to you, and make sure that you're bringing a love and just joy everywhere you go, because that's really what this life is about. Thanks for being here. See you later.